Hello, and welcome to the Blood Podcast Birth, Love, Experience, and Death. I'm your host, Stephanie Bushak,
And I'm your co-host, Matt Bushak.
and we're at a weird angle today because Matt is in
A splint from
a
my foot.
splint. Yes.
We would show you, but then we rotate the camera and fuck everything up.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Just trust us. It's
And
huge.
For our listeners, you can't see anything anyways.
No. Just imagine it's huge.
That's what she said.
Yep. Ba-dum-bum. So today,
You're like tossing the softball. So I said it's huge. It's huge. Okay, I get it.
Today we're going to talk about the time that we went into real estate and then had to file for bankruptcy.
The crazy antics. This is a great story. Do you remember how it started? What's your recollection?
My recollection is we've always kind of been hustlers. We've always tried to find some way of making money on the side, right?
Entrepreneurs.
Yeah, entrepreneurs. And I remember watching late night infomercials.
You remember where we were?
Well, at our house in
No.
were we at your mom's house? No.
We had taken a weekend trip to the coast, to the west coast of Washington, like not the Sound, but the west coast, and we were staying at a little place that had like a lighthouse or something, but it was right on the beach.
Yeah.
That's where the seagulls chased us. Remember?
Oh, I thought the seagulls chased us at a beach in Texas.
No, I think that was Washington. Anyways, we were taking a vacation and we were at this hotel, and we were just watching TV, and that's where we saw Carlton Sheets.
Uh-huh. And yeah, so I think a discussion came up at one point about, boy, this keeps coming on TV and it looks really interesting. And, I've always wondered how they do stuff like that. And what he did basically was he was teaching people how to flip houses.
Or turn them into rentals.
Yes.
And he probably had a lot of great ideas. So this guy, Carlton Sheets, I'm sure you can look him up. Late night, infomercial.
Mogul.
we probably, I'm sure, really what he should have been selling was how to get suckers to pay for stuff on late night TV.
Yeah. We were young in our
defense. We were so young.
Yes.
And had just stars. And actually the stuff that he gave us, it was good stuff. It talked about different types of mortgages. It talked about how to inspect the house.
Yeah.
But, we weren't savvy enough to do that.
No. But it did help us in like looking for a house.
And buying our
buying our first house, like what to look for. And
so we got this package and it cost like $1,000. Now we're paycheck to paycheck. Actually, we're even more because we, spend money on credit cards to help supplement our lifestyle. And so we but we probably put that on a credit card.
Probably so, yeah, I'm sure.
And then there was a coaching thing that they did where we had this guy call us, once a week or something?
Yeah, I don't remember how frequently it was.
And it was for like 2 months, but it was like your personal coach. You paid like another couple of grand for that.
Yeah. And you could ask whatever questions you wanted to. They'd give you like all their helpful personal advice.
They were supposed to walk you through your first purchase and all that stuff.
Yes.
But we were, like I said, we were not savvy at all.
No, and not only were we not savvy, but I think at the time we didn't have enough confidence to follow through with a lot of the things that honestly you need some you need more confidence than I think what we had in like approaching other people and just kind of doing things what's the word I'm thinking of? It's not a cold call, but when you do things like spontaneously in person, just go knock on somebody's house and be
that is like cold calling, yeah.
Yeah, be like, hey, I noticed that, you've
your
got
house looks like shit,
you got a first sale sign on. Yeah, it's stuff like that. So
sorry. I didn't mean to jump in.
That's okay.
So we were so confident in this. About 4 months later, I quit my full-time job at Boeing. And Stephanie quit her full-time job cleaning houses. And
yeah, well, I had other reasons I quit cleaning houses. I started breaking out in really bad rashes from the cleaning products that we were using.
So she got unemployment because it was a hazard. I tried to get unemployment from Boeing, who I worked for at the time, claiming that, newspaper had Chinese workers on bamboo scaffoldings, and that was dangerous. And I just couldn't work for a company that allowed that. Yeah, they didn't go for that. It was like a conscientious objection to what they were doing, but no, they
Yeah.
wouldn't give me unemployment.
Yeah.
So I tried.
I don't blame them.
Well, if you don't try,
You never know. That's
And
true.
so one of the other things that Carlton said is go get lines of credit everywhere because you're going to need these lines of credit so you can quickly put cash down on a house,
Mhm.
And so we got like $80,000 in lines of credit from different banks.
Yeah.
These are just personal lines of credit. We can just take cash out and pay it back over time.
Yeah.
Then we figured out, yeah, it just doesn't make sense for us to be working while we do this because we just can't spend enough time on it. So I quit my job and Steph
Yeah.
left hers, but um,
Yeah, after spending a lot of time reading it and studying it and filling everything out and taking the course and learning all this stuff, we were like, wow, this is like really a full-time job. You've got to be a full-time person working on this. And so we thought, well, if we're really going to throw ourselves into it, we need to throw ourselves into it.
yes,
Yeah.
and that was all not great thinking. That was
No.
young people thinking this is something you could do along with your job.
Yeah. How old were we when we did this? We were probably like
It was
20,
before we had kids, so
22, 23.
No, I was out of college.
Were you?
I was
Okay.
like 26,
Okay.
but still young. I mean,
Yeah.
still young.
Yeah.
We were naive.
Mhm.
That had naivete.
Yes.
So we decided the best course of action is for us to be unemployed because we could live off these lines of credit until we got our first flip.
Right.
And that would only take a couple months.
Right.
Right? I mean,
Yeah. So we spent an inordinate amount of time looking at houses. Now that part we had no problem following through with.
Mm-hmm.
And personally, even to this day, I love like Zillow. I can get a little addicted sometimes, even when I'm not in the market.
House porn.
Yes, it is house porn. And just kind of fantasize about what it would be like living in a house like this, or what changes would I make if I had a house like this, or stuff like that. And so it was fun going around and looking at houses. Now we had a couple of kind of scary experiences. I can remember going into a house because you got in this program you're kind of looking for the worst of the worst with the houses. Like the cheaper you can get it, but in a good location, the better. And so we went to some pretty unsavory houses, and I can remember going into one and looking in the different bedrooms and walking into one of the bedrooms and realizing that there was like somebody had set up a sleeping bag and I had a flashlight in
They were
there.
in the sleeping bag.
And were they in there?
Yeah,
Okay. I remember it scaring the shit out of me.
We gotta go.
Yeah. And turning around and walking out and being like, yeah, there's like kind of a squatter in that house right now.
That was before we knew that Washington hippies don't have guns.
Yeah.
They're anti-gun. So
yeah.
if we'd have known that, we wouldn't have been as scared.
So, yeah, that was fun.
We spent full time looking at that, and all in the meantime, just racking up that debt. And we had credit cards too. We used the credit cards to help supplement our income as well. And so I was to the point where I was paying off credit cards with other credit cards. I would take a cash advance from one credit card and pay the bills with that.
Yeah.
That doesn't really.
So after a while, we were like, we have a little problem here with pulling the trigger.
Yeah. Oh, that's what she said.
Yeah, she did say that. She said, hey, I think we have a little problem with pulling the trigger here.
Yeah.
We just could not seem to push ourselves to actually purchase anything.
Yeah, we were not good at this because we were nervous and there's fees involved and the margins,
And everything kept coming with so many cons. We'd make our pros and cons list on these different locations, these different houses, And the cons list just always outweighed the pros list. And we're like, wait a minute, this Carlton said there'd be that gym out there.
Oh yeah, Carlton told us how to
Yeah,
and everything.
just keep your eyes on the prize and don't just get discouraged. And eventually you'll find that diamond in the rough and you'll be able to make a good profit off of it.
And I think that's where like the networking and the social engineering stuff comes into play, finding out about deals, being able to just cold call people, talk to people out of nowhere about,
Yeah,
and so that's something we weren't skilled at
no.
whatsoever.
And so, yeah, we got to a spot where we found ourselves being like, what the fuck are we doing?
So then we decide, hey, let's get pregnant.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Now, I was employed when I got pregnant.
Not when you got pregnant.
Yeah, I was. I worked in the produce
Nope, not when you got
section,
pregnant.
and I quit 2 months after I got pregnant.
So here's how it was. We were both unemployed when you got pregnant, okay? We came back and from that trip to Whistler and we're like, maybe we should get employed. And so you did start working at Safeway, and then right before we found out if we were having twins, you quit Safeway.
Okay.
But yeah, so the point is we decided to have have a baby
Yeah.
without having any income whatsoever.
Okay.
And that's why we ended up as bad as we were.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
So then when did we I know I was about what halfway through my pregnancy when we decided we need to file for bankruptcy.
Yeah, so I had to go back to work, and so yeah, she went back to work, but the pregnancy got her tired real quick. She'd come home for like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired.
Well, I worked at a produce department at one of the grocery stores, and my main job was like lifting pallets of fruits and vegetables and moving them around and restocking everything. So, yeah, I was having a hard time keeping up with everything that they wanted me to do at work.
And I went to go work for Pizza Hut. I put in applications everywhere for like real jobs. Um, but I got hired at Pizza Hut as a shift leader, making like $7.50 an hour or something. But I had to take something because we had nothing coming in, and so at one point, gosh, let's see, when did you get pregnant? Around January, and it was around May or so. We said we better go see an attorney about this or
Yeah,
figure it out because there's no way
yeah.
we could keep paying the
We
credit
were
cards.
drowning. We were drowning in debt.
Yeah,
We were getting to where we were stealing from Peter to pay Paul.
yep, and then bashing Paul over the head, stealing that to pay rent.
Yeah,
Um,
it wasn't pretty.
no, it was, and she's pregnant, and we're getting, food stamps and WIC, and
It was incredibly stressful.
and so yeah, we decided, okay, let's see what this is, and we found out from the lawyer back then when you declared or when you filed for bankruptcy, they just cleared all of your debt. There was no payback plan. There was no,
Yeah.
that was it.
The only thing that you still had to contend with was school loans,
Yeah,
right?
student loans didn't get wiped out,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But the
Yeah.
government did that later on for me a couple years ago. Yay! So I just had to wait them out.
For 20 something
That's
years.
yes, almost 30 years. Just had to wait them out.
Yeah.
I won.
Yay.
Paid $20,000 in interest to save $10,000 on student loans. But so yeah, so we went to this guy and he said everything. He said, yeah, your car's not worth anything. Your house doesn't have any equity in it, which was true because we got a VA loan with no down payment. And we're worried about our clothes, and I had like a $1,200 base, and all this. And he's like, oh no, nobody wants to liquidate all that stuff.
Yeah.
Which makes sense now.
Yeah. No, unfortunately, it was a lot easier filing for bankruptcy than we thought it would be.
Yeah, it was. And of course, she's pregnant when we're in court. She's pregnant with twins, and this is in June, I think, or 6 weeks before the kid was born or something. And so.
And it was very stressful.
Yeah, it was.
I
But
was
it was a
really stressed up right until we finally got the bankruptcy. And then when we got the bankruptcy, it was a major relief.
Yeah. And so that was in 1999 that we pulled that off. There was one other time about a decade ago or so where we started getting back in that debt cycle.
Yeah.
We were able to pull ourselves out of that and help Sonny out with college. And
It's hard. And I know so many people that have either filed for bankruptcy at some point or they wish they could file for bankruptcy. Because, I mean, we grew up without there being that many credit cards, and the credit cards really hit the scene when we were in like college.
yeah, they started getting bigger.
And they made it sound like here's a way to capture your dreams, and don't worry, you'll have no problem paying it off later, you know? I mean, what you need now is more important. And I think a ton of people fell for I'll just, pay it back next month. Oh, I can't pay it back next month. I'll just pay what I can. Nobody really like thought about how much that interest rate was
they're like
compounding over the
20%.
years, because they couldn't keep up with the payments.
So something interesting that just occurred to me. So, we put all kinds of warnings on cigarettes, and we don't allow cigarettes to advertise on TV,
Yeah.
very limited, because we know that smoking is bad for you.
Yeah.
But for some reason, we think debt is okay for you.
Yeah.
So it's okay to advertise.
It's pushed from every corner of any business that works with finance. Every corner of they
can
get you
cash back, but if you have to pay any interest, that's just waste.
So we were really big on like with Sonny trying to teach him how to get a good credit rating and how to, not really rely on credit cards unless you had the cash and you were just using the credit cards to, get points or cash back or something like that.
As long as you pay it off every month,
yeah,
then you can enjoy the
So he had pretty pristine credit.
He did. His credit was better than ours.
Yeah.
But yeah, those banks though, it's they push it. They push it. They want want that debt so they can make money.
Yeah.
There's nothing healthy or good about that relationship.
No.
But they want you to think that we're partners here. And yeah.
So if you think about it, we hear about like the rich suppressing the poor so much these days, which is totally true. It's like the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer.
That's another episode.
Yeah. But this ties into it, doing the whole like finance and bankruptcy and shit, because a lot of people don't realize that those, billionaires out there, a lot of them they own those credit card companies. That's their backup.
Oh yeah, those are banks.
That's their cash cow, and they're doing it by preying on people basically.
When the banks started going under, the feds helped them out, and these are the same banks that are charging 20% interest.
Yeah.
And I mean that's ridiculous. If y'all don't know that 20% interest is ridiculous, do a little bit of research.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't take long on Google to find out that that's ridiculous. Houses are maybe 6-7%, cars maybe 10% right now, but 20% is not good.
No. I don't even think like loan sharks charge like the loan cash places.
To break your legs if you don't pay them back.
No, even like the corner loan stores.
Yeah. The payday loans.
Yeah, I don't think they charge that much.
Yeah, they're not cheap.
Bankruptcy.
It's not like.
So here's something cool that came out of the Carlton Sheets thing though.
Okay.
Your dad asked to borrow all the.
Right.
Listen to this. This is pretty cool. Your dad asked to borrow all the Carlton Sheets information. And his dad was like a super outgoing.
He was a salesman.
He was super outgoing, friendly, had no problem approaching people on anything. And his dad read all the Carlton Sheet stuff.
Yep.
And he went and got his real estate license.
Yep.
And he went out and bought houses
You flipped some of them.
And flipped some of them and turned some of them into rentals.
Yep.
And that was part of his side income. And I think
His main income after
after he had a stroke, it was his main income.
Yep.
So Dad utilized it. We just didn't have Dad's personality.
No, that's exactly it. Because Dad could talk to anybody.
Yeah.
You know, I mean.
Yeah. He definitely was a very charming, persuasive person.
Yeah.
So I always thought that was kind of cool that even though we didn't get anything out of it, your dad like immediately, like when we told him we had done that, and he was like, yeah, that sucks. Can I look at that Carlton sheet stuff?
You know, it's funny because my dad never, like, you know, he was just not one to talk about, you know, how proud he was or how, you know, great things I was doing or whatever, you know. And I mean, he was definitely, you know, a good supportive guy. So
yeah, he was a really nice guy, but he wasn't, he didn't show like a lot of
praise or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I remember that one day he must have butt dialed me and he left a message, and then he called me and left a message, and he left his phone on, and he was talking to people about this credit card stuff that I was doing back then, and how I was making it work and all this, and how, you know, he put the spin on it. And so anyways, to hear him talking about, yeah, I heard this from my son, you know, and everything, I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So thanks, Dad.
Yeah.
You never knew you did that.
Yeah. Put Dad in the right direction on something really cool.
Yep. So there you go.
Got the bug planted.
Mm-hmm. I'm just the numbers and spreadsheet guy.
Yeah. We are behind the scenes. We are like dynamos behind the scenes.
Yes.
But
don't look at us.
Don't
look at us. They're looking at us.
But neither one of us are really like the front person on anything. No. We're like, yeah, somebody else do this.
Can you tell? Because
I'll support you in any way possible, but
like Stephanie's the front person for this, but there's not really a front person because we're both looking at each other like, take over. Say something.
There are some things that are like within my own small social comfort zone that I don't mind leading on, but
yeah,
going on people's doors and being like, hey, are you thinking about selling your house? Because it looks like shit. Which you don't say that, but it's like people saying, are you, well, it's like when people would sit stuff like a flyer on your old beat up truck and be like, hey, are you looking to sell your truck? They're not doing that to nice cars.
Yeah, but they didn't say, hey, your truck's a piece of shit. You're going to pay you $10 for it.
Yeah, but it's kind of like implied.
Sure. Implication is one thing.
Yeah.
Saying it out loud, Steph. Oh my gosh. Shocking.
See, I would be the kind of person that would probably just accidentally say it out loud and be like, did I just say that out loud?
I guess this deal is done.
Oops, my bad.
Wah, wah.
Pedal back.
Yeah, we're not that person.
Yeah. So, hey, Matt, guess what?
What, Steph?
Life will kill you.
Will it?
That's what I've heard.
Okay.
All right.
How about that?
All right. Stay safe, kids.